You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Gary Maunakea-Forth, who co-founded the 5-acre Ma'o Organic Farm and Aloha Aina Cafe in Waianae 4 years ago to help the youth and economy of Waianae. Gary shares with us how he partnered with young and energetic children with running a successful community-based business.
How did you guys end up meeting with Ed Kenny from town, and how did you end up meeting with, the Gift Foundation people? How do you guys come together?
In the case of Ed, he was the executive chef at Cafe Laniakea at the YWCA, and a mutual friend said we should take some vegetables down there and see if he would buy them. And at that point, we were just producing a little bit of stuff. I mean, one beet here and there and that kind of stuff. So we started with Ed just giving him a mystery box. I think he started buying a $25 mystery box, and we would stuff in it whatever we could harvest out of the ground that wasn't eaten by bugs. And he started working in different recipes, and it really started to work kind of cool. One day we had a bumper crop of radishes, and he made radish soup for 3 days, which I didn't like it that much, but it sold, which was important. So that relationship matured from there. In terms of the Gift Foundation folks, Hawaii's a small place. I went to college with someone who was married to someone, and Nate Smith, who's become a really good friend, he's instrumental in the Gift Foundation, and his wife I went to college with, Heather Williams. So they interviewed a whole bunch of non-profit organizations to figure out who they wanted to build a fundraiser around, and we were fortunate enough last year to be chosen as one of 2 organizations that they funded. And it's important for us too because their demographic, the 25 to early 40-somethings, is really the one that's sort of partly motivating this movement towards organic agriculture. It's certainly the baby boomers because they're starting to get old and they're looking for healthy food and those kinds of things. But this younger generation of people, I think, will make the marketplace, very expansive. Ed is young and he started this new restaurant, and that's become extremely popular. And it's taken food. I mean, there's amazing food in Hawaii as it is with, Roy's and Alan Wong's and stuff like that. Ed has sort of put a different twist on it, which isn't as complicated as some of those kinds of things, but, the food is radical. So I guess, being around the same age as all these folks, we've sort of run into each other sort of thing. And, the Gift Foundation has a great concept. I mean, they throw a big party. And I raised a lot of money, so it's a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get invited to the party this year. We'll see what happens.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how they help Ma'o community?
Well, the Gift Foundation, they basically run a fundraiser which raises a lot of money in one foul swoop. And for us, and the other organization was the Positive Coaching Alliance. It raised $30,000 for each group. And for our budget, annual budget's a little under $500,000. So you're talking about, 7 or 8% of our entire budget they raised. And for an organization that's a non-profit organization, some of our funding is on contracts. So we have to spend the money, and 4 or 5 weeks later, and in some cases 6 weeks later, we get the money back. So we need cash flow. We're fortunate, the farm is at such a point right now that we generate enough cash to sustain things. But at that point in time, we really, really needed some cash just to sustain some of our programs until other cash came in. And this is, one of the big issues with small businesses. How do you run your inventory and how do you run your accounts receivable? So that was, just a blessing in disguise for us. We didn't put in our budget we were going to get this money, and it came in. And then on top of that now, we've just run a fundraiser at Town Restaurant for this New Zealand trip we're taking with young people. So we sold $100 tickets for, this great night of wine and food and, and just great fun. And half the tickets, I think, were sold to people from the Gift Foundation. So, they're long-term, big-time supporters of what we're doing. We're producing food that we intend to sell half in our own community to support the health and the community of Waianae, and half we need to bring into town to sell to people. And over the long term, those kinds of people become our best and biggest customers. Mm-hmm. And a marriage between those people that's based not just on a monetary transaction but on values is critical. That's how Hawaii operates. We operate on relationships. And so those guys come out to Waianae and work in the garden. Heather Williams has brought kids from Punahou who are in a summer program from all over the state to the farm to weed and work on the farm. So there's a real nice marriage going on with some of these, and this is indicative of some of the partnerships we have, including Leeward Community College and Kaiser Permanente.
What kind of success stories are you having from the kids that are going through these programs? Have you seen any that really stick out in your mind?
Yeah, I will. I mean, the 4 crew, that's Chris, Ikaika, Manny, and Kanoi, they're running an organic farm. They're 21-year-old Hawaiians running an organic farm. So that's the first and foremost, most successful story we have right now.
Thanks for joining us today on Greater Good Radio. For more information or a transcript of today's show, please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. This is your host, Evan Leong and Carrie Leong, saying please join us next time for another episode of Greater Good Radio, Hawaii.